Welcome to the Lakeshow podcast presented by Jack in the Box. This is a weekly deep dive into the biggest stories and topics surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers. Allie Clifton, Chris McGee, Mike Bresnahan. You know when you just like start a show? Do you ever have this feeling, Geeter? And I'm only asking him because he's a host. Sometimes you do host though. But
in dire emergency situations, yes.
The first voice.
Happens.
And you just think of something and it makes you smile and then you have to talk and smile at the same time. It's
What were
kind
you
of
thinking
hard.
about your cousin's birthday?
I was thinking about you.
Oh. What
I
about
really
me?
was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So clueless I am?
No, how you're excited to
Summer Geet.
How you're excited to surf this weekend? Is that what we call it?
Well, yeah, we're
Surfing?
going to the lake. I'm excited about going to a lake.
This is the summer of Geet.
It is
Allie,
the
I was on
summer.
the
I haven't
beach
regular
last
surfed for a
weekend.
long time, but
Went to see a friend play
maybe
beach volleyball. Heard Geeter was also in this tournament. There he was, playing volleyball with good players,
There he
dominating.
was.
it's fun times.
Yeah.
How would you rate
Summer
your
of Geet.
performance?
I thought I did all right for considering how I felt going in.
Better than
I
all
hadn't
right.
played in a long time, and I played Friday actually to kind of have some games with my friends to kind of get my bearings a little bit. And then Saturday I was with a fun team. Matt Green, two-time Stanley Cup champion, Greenie. A young kid named Owen Longcar plays for UC Santa Barbara, and then the Buddy. Everyone's got a buddy named Buddy. A guy named Buddy. You know Buddy.
Buddy, I've heard of
Yeah.
Buddy. I don't know Buddy.
First, we had a German buddy because our buddy wasn't there yet, so we got like a 6'5" German to fill in, and the kid was unbelievable. Then real Buddy showed up, and I had to let German Buddy go, and it made me sad 'cause I think
You're
if we
still
kept
mad.
German Buddy, we probably go to the finals or semis of this tournament. I actually tried to push our buddy onto the strand in front of bikes to hurt him for a week so German Buddy could play for him. But yeah, it was perfect. We got out of pool play, went to the playoffs, and lost, and I'm healthy. I mean, at my age,
all that matters.
that is a win. I played enough games, didn't need to go all the way. It was great. It's great.
For beach volleyball tournaments, getting to the playoffs and losing in the first round is perfect.
It's okay.
Perfect.
You're in
Hey, I got out of my pool.
Yep.
Made the playoffs. I don't need to be here till 6:30.
I used to take
when
these
it starts to
losses
get a little
really
cold
hard.
and windy.
Bryce. I used to take a lot, but I didn't take this one hard at all.
No, you seem fine.
Crushed a bunch of smash burgers, hung out with Brez.
From Proudly Serving?
Well, no, this like little pop-up place in Hermosa, but they are reminiscent of the Proudly Serving ones. Proudly Serving's the best smash burger,
I agree.
in my opinion, in South.
Is the
Bay.
pop up the one by Bocados? Is it
Yes.
those burgers? Are
Yeah,
those
pops up
good?
right by your house there, Brez.
Yeah, I got.
He hadn't
eat
done it all
those.
summer, and he did, so we ordered like 20 of them.
If anyone wondered where Brez lived.
If you guys want to know where Brez lives, it's over by Bocados in Hermosa.
Some really nice guy was like parking in the street. I'm just going to my car, and he's like, "Hey, is it okay if I park here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think you're in the red." He's like, I know you."
I know you.
And I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, does he work at a restaurant? Does he? Have I seen him at Shellback?
Yeah.
Like, how do I know this guy? And he's like, yeah, you're at the Lakers. I'm like, yeah, man. And now you know where I live. So there you go.
No, I'm Geeter.
I said, yeah, I'm Geeter.
Yeah.
So
a lot of times I'll say I'm Brez if it's something where, just,
That's like me. I give out my other name.
yeah. Which is?
When I'm in trouble, I give out my other name.
Mine's Paolo Emilio. What's yours?
I'm not telling.
Oh.
Paolo Emilio,
No, it's actually my name.
Oh.
That's my point.
Oh.
Having said that,
your other name.
This was yesterday. Someone was outside your house?
A couple days ago, Saturday, I think, Sunday.
Marissa and I did a beach afternoon yesterday, and when you get off the sand and you
Saw
have
that on the
sunscreen all
gram.
over you, and then you have to go sit on leather seats.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, we should have put towels down. And so what did we do? We pulled over right in front of your house.
Oh, you did?
We're like, hey, Brez.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are all your tubs real sandy from the summer? You know, when it's summertime, just
No, I
a lot
can't
of
stand
sand
that.
build up
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's bad.
No.
Yeah, a lot of sweeping, a lot of vacuuming,
Yeah.
a lot of.
I refuse to let that
happens.
happen.
Yeah.
I have sand in my water bottle and my
Yeah, well, that's the
Stanley
worst.
cup.
It's a good sign. It means it's summer.
I mean, I could have that in December. That's the beautiful thing about being here. Ayo. Okay.
Touche.
I did make
Let's
one
talk about
error
Lakers.
at your volleyball tournament the other day. Put my cup of beverage on the sand just for a second to like turn around and talk to someone, and some kid like a 20-year-old. He might have been German Buddy. He was like 6'5". Goes like sprinting past, and a bunch of sand kicked into the cup.
It's a rookie move by a veteran guy. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're a veteran guy.
Never put your cup on the
By
sand.
the way, this day and age, don't ever just leave your cup blind anyway.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
remember that,
Yeah.
kids.
Someone want to spike my drink.
Never know.
By the way, this is the Lakers podcast,
Oh, it
Lakeshow
is?
podcast. Having said that, people
It's July, though. What does people expect?
do love our first 10 to 15 minute banter.
Especially
and
Mitch.
forth.
He's always talking about it.
Who?
Mitch.
Mitch PR.
Oh, shoot.
PR Mitch.
PR Mitch.
Mitch
PR
texted
Mitch.
me yesterday. I forgot. Mitch, I'll hit you up in a second. All right.
Interesting.
Sorry,
Speaking
Mitch.
of Mitch, Laker talk.
Does that happen
Anthony
a lot?
Davis.
Do you text Allie and she doesn't text you back? Does that happen
Because
a lot?
I was at Summer League and I
it happens
texted
sometimes,
Mitch
buddy.
and he responded and then I forgot to respond. I'm so bad at that. I do
What
it too
is
all the time.
text etiquette? If you send a text, then that person responds. Are you supposed to then respond with like a thank you or a heart emoji, or is it just are you going to end it? Like
Allie, just
there's-
give him a little. A little
I hate that.
You know what I mean?
Why? I'm gonna do that to you all the time then.
Brett, are you
Hey,
really
Brez.
into our comment? Brett's like,
Is
what
Brett
is
mic'd up today?
happening? Ritzenthal.
Brett, you think you got to reciprocate?
Like,
Like, how long is that supposed to go when someone reaches out, text, you text back,
what's the Midwest
and then
etiquette?
they text back? Do you have to text back again? Yeah, Brett's pretty quick with it. He gets annoyed when people aren't.
Allie.
He refuses to be mic'd up. I don't blame him. So,
Yeah, he'll sit back there and talk. Wait, you get mad when someone doesn't respond back?
yeah, he's pretty quick with his responses, and he expects you to, respond appropriately.
We need Brett cam, by the way.
I just learned
He's
something
not
new
gonna
about
talk.
you, Brett.
Yeah.
Got to put a camera on Brett.
He would too. Every time I
Yeah,
walk into the
when
studio,
Brett and
I think
text,
no one's
we,
in
we,
here.
We text pretty quickly, then we move on. Yeah,
Every
usually
time
about
I
football
come.
or something.
Oh,
there
there
it
he
is.
is.
There he is. Little spot shadow.
Every time
on
I
Brett.
come into the studio and I think no one's in here, and I'll be like talk to myself or something, all of a sudden you'll hear
Dude.
Brett from the back.
Yeah, there's always someone lurking in here.
Scary.
Scary.
Brett's like a magician. Like, I'm wondering who's going to work the jib camera right before a pregame show. For those that you don't know, it's the big camera that kind of sweeps across. It shows all three of us right here in a second here. And so it's like, where's Brett? And then he just jumps in. That's the jib angle right there. He'll jump in, and all of a sudden he's there, and it's like the best pregame show ever. I have commented to Brett and our other jib operator, Nacho. Great game tonight,
How good has
guys.
Nacho been?
He's so good.
Where is
So
Nacho?
good.
Speaking of sweeping across,
Allie's
someone
had it
who's
with the
been
small talk.
sweeping across the landscape when it comes to world basketball right now.
I'm
Anthony
really excited
Good
about your
segue.
baseball. Are you?
Davis, thrilled. Cannot wait.
Yeah.
Actually, my friend Kelsey, they just booked a ticket to Paris last night
Whoa.
to catch some of the Olympics.
Man, I want to go to Paris. I
really
I
awesome.
thought for 3 or 4 years I was really talking a lot about it, and I just know the window's kind of closed.
Man,
But
It'll be here in 4 years, Geet.
I know, and I think that's kind of what has me okay with missing. But I just
Missing
feel
this
like
year.
it's going to be really special. Beach volleyball right there under the Eiffel Tower. If you haven't seen what it looks
amazing,
like,
right?
it's already up and running. I would check it out. Is the best backdrop I've ever seen in terms of the Olympics. But like the Eiffel Tower and the beach courts right under it. Basketball is going to be about 40 minutes out of town,
It's pretty far.
but women's and men's should be really fun. And then I'm obviously into the men's and indoor volleyball as well. I used to be huge track and field. I feel like that's fallen off for me a little bit because I think I used to like know everybody so well, or it was always such a big build-up. And then obviously swimming is always super fun. But
You're going to pick up team handball this year in its place.
always check out the water polo and stuff like that. But those are my Fab 4 or 5 right there.
Break dancing. I know you've seen Geeter break dance.
Huge
He's-
equestrian guy, too.
Big horses guy too. Yeah, that's there's a lot to like, Allie. Are you a ping pong watcher?
I was just
Table
going to say
tennis.
that's where Kelsey
guys
and her
are
husband are
ridiculous.
going to first. Ping pong.
No way.
Yeah. They're doing ping pong, rugby.
Listen, I've only been to one, and I worked at Beijing, but like when you're there, it is so cool, and you can find your way into. It always seems like it's going to be super expensive to get into place, but you do find your way in and tickets and all that stuff. But the hard part is just, I think, with Paris is how expensive it is to stay there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the problem is the hotels. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Were you a grappler ever in high school? A little Greco-Roman wrestling for you?
Oh,
Yeah, I
what?
got cut from that
What'd you
team.
call
A
it?
grappler?
grappler.
You call
like
it
like a wrestler?
Greco-Roman?
Greco-Roman wrestling? Certain type of wrestling.
Never heard of
It's
that
freestyle
word.
and Greco-Roman.
Greco-Roman?
Yeah.
No.
It's a form of wrestling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Allie is really trying to get us off this. Off this.
No, I am actually very
I got her.
intrigued with that.
Allie, I will say, were you here for the?
You guys run around in
Like when
singlets
Brett
and
sees us,
stuff?
I got her. What?
You run around in like singlets?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So, Geet, we should.
Can I
By
say
the way,
what
we
they
should
make
do that
fun of
on
me?
air. You and I
we wear our singlets.
can go at it.
Yeah. On opening ceremonies is like next
I will
weekend.
officiate whatever that person is that calls
Officiate
the
the
winner.
wedding or officiate the?
No, officiate.
Oh,
not
officiate.
officiate.
We're not
Oh.
getting married.
You're going to officiate.
I
the-
will officiate you
Like a
two going
referee.
at it in singlets. Sign me up.
It could be.
You got to know the sport first, though. 'Cause,
I don't
yeah,
need to
you don't
know
even
anything.
what Greco-Roman is.
No, I
you do because
don't.
there's a point system.
Oh, I will make up my own points. And you guys,
Missing a whole wrestling meet. You know what movie that is? Breakfast Club.
Wow, I never would have got that.
I was going to say something with Will Ferrell in it.
Do you know Breakfast Club? You ever heard of it?
Fill it up
John
again.
Hughes.
I've
Movie
never seen it,
from the
but I've
80s.
heard of it.
Great movie. Holds up.
Geet, old school?
Emilio Estevez.
Old school or Anchorman?
Anthony Michael Hall. What?
Old school or Anchorman for you?
I go old school.
Yeah, I do too.
I love Anchorman.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I just was that confident about it. But old school.
I'm with you. Old school.
Where's
tough to beat.
Why don't you ever throw out Step Brothers?
What about Wedding Crashers? You go Wedding Crashers, Step Brothers, old school. That's hard to
Okay,
rank.
I love you both, but we really need to get through
Okay,
this
sorry.
podcast.
Old school,
So,
Anchorman,
Sorry, Jordan.
save that for another day.
Step Brothers, top 3.
Jordan
Will
worked
Ferrell.
hard, guys. That was rude to take over the show like that.
Blades of Glory,
We-
that was outside the top 5. Yeah.
Watch Anthony Davis night in and night out.
Yeah.
Do you think what you've seen from AD through 3 exhibition games so far has reminded anyone else what we get to see night in and night
I
out
feel like we go through this all the time.
all the time?
Brez and Allie, like
all the time.
it happens in the playoffs. It happens in big games and against the Memphis series or in Golden State, and he's phenomenal. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, AD!" This is what we see every. I mean, listen, maybe not all 82, but he's about 90% of the time. To me, dialed in defensively. I think everyone has a game or two team wise where he just, But he is, in my opinion, the most versatile and best defender in the league. There are great defenders, but I think what he has to do for his team, and then going on to the offensive end and scoring 26 a game. So it's fun to see him on a team like Team USA where there's so much talent and he's not needed to put up 25 and he's just playing his role. And he's also out there with other great defenders. Hello. We
That
talk
part.
about that a lot.
Bam, bam.
That's why, not to take anything away from Rudy Gobert, but it sure would be nice to play defense on that Minnesota team.
And just have to focus on the rim.
Focus on the rim, right? AD has to cover a lot when he plays for the Lakers, and he's been the main defender on this team ever since the day he stepped foot, on this floor. And he's been phenomenal. So for me, it's not like it's a reminder to everybody else, but I think for us, it's just par for the course. It's what we see every time.
Geet, I looked up the voting for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And it still bothers me. And we kind of knew it was heading that way towards the end of the regular season. Like Gobert, Wembanyama, probably going to be at the top 2 there. But Bam snuck ahead of AD too. AD finished 4th, Allie. And there were 99 voters. I don't know, why not 100? Maybe someone got sick. Or how about a nice round number next year, NBA? AD got 4 first-place votes out of 99. I mean, yeah, and granted, we watch him every night. And the Lakers finished 7th. I get it. But Wembanyama, he was 2nd.
Yeah.
That team won like 4 games.
Yeah, and not to take anything away from Wembanyama, he did some things that
He really did. He had a good close, too.
But,
Yeah, good second half.
But yes, it surprised me. I think you're right. 7th place, maybe that hurts him for sure.
Yeah.
The defensive numbers weren't great for the team, maybe. So it is kind of a bummer. It's just I think he's used to it. I think he used to bother him. Now I just think he plays to win, and
I want to kind of transition this conversation into how that relates to the Lakers in a sense. The Team USA just landed in London, I saw today. So obviously we're all excited about that and to see it unfold. But JJ Redick shared his thoughts on the roster. When you think about AD playing next to a Bam or another big, right? He shared his thoughts on the roster on SiriusXM NBA radio, saying, we tried, but we'd love to at some point get another 5-man, a big bruising 5-man. You look at the Western Conference right now, whether it's Denver, Minnesota, OKC, with what they added, certainly Memphis, they're going to be back in the hunt. They added Zach Edey, certain matchups in the playoffs. You're going to need a lot of size. There's some things that would have to happen, which I mentioned some names that have been thrown around, Geeter, and you were quick to say, but we can't currently.
can't. I mean, it would have been nice to get Valanciunas, right? But now
He
you don't have
definitely
any roster spots.
Yeah.
What's the situation there?
So you got to trade.
Look, they're at 15, and they've been at 15 for several weeks now. They have the max number of people.
All 4 guys opted in. 2 draft picks.
Yeah, two surprises there.
That's 6 guys right there.
Yeah. Like D'Lo opting in, still the surprise
Re-sign
of the
LeBron.
offseason.
7 guys right there.
Yeah. And we knew LeBron would opt out and then
Yeah,
re-sign.
so-
No surprise there. But I really thought D'Lo was going to opt out. And I thought he was going to re-sign with the Lakers for a nice little pay boost. Didn't happen. And then you had the flurry of guys who opted in at the end of June. You got Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood. I thought at least one of those guys would test free agency, maybe Jackson Hayes. But they all decided, hey, we'll take another year of the minimum salary. So the Lakers, after drafting 2 guys and signing them as well, you're at 15. So they're going to have to trade people out. They could waive people, but, you're still going to be at the apron, at the apron. So you're going to have to. They're kind of backs against the wall. One thing they can do, they could trade maybe like Cam Reddish and Maxwell Lewis. That gets you about a little over $4 million. You can bring one guy back, but that has to be like a minimum salary because you don't want to go over that apron. They're a little handcuffed with 15 people right now, Allie.
Names like Brooke Lopez, Wendell Carter Jr., Walker Kessler. What would
sign
that
me up for
require?
All those
that,
guys.
Yeah, I love them all. I love Brooke Lopez right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Be
Walker
great,
Kessler had a
but-
great rookie year.
Be a lot to get him.
Yeah.
It's going to take stuff to get him. So.
Yeah, Kessler slumped a little bit last year, so maybe you could maybe get by with a couple second rounders if you're lucky. Utah's trying to blow it up, but they spent a first rounder on him, and it's only going to be his third year in the league. So,
I know
it's-
whenever I hear
it's
Utah,
tough.
I just know that it's not in the cards for us because Danny Ainge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys one to think about the possibility of that, or because the money situation that it's? Because that is kind of hard. When I mentioned that, I get it. It's like, why are we talking about anyone when we simply
This is
don't
the first
have?
year I haven't gotten wrapped up in it because of the reality of it.
Yeah.
And I think having to explain it to people all the time because people want to know why we haven't done this, why the Lakers haven't done that, why isn't this guy? And then you just realize that it's hard. Like trading for a top tier guy or a guy that's going to come in here, that takes a lot. It's probably going to take more than a couple of picks, and it's going to take players. So you're going to, Lakers aren't just going to trade everyone away to get a guy. That doesn't make any sense. And then, Clay, well, that would have taken a sign and trade.
Yeah.
4 guys opted in, like I said. So, DeRozan, all these things would have taken moves that we weren't able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of has, I'm not going to say put a damper on anything. It's just more like the reality of it. So I haven't gotten wrapped up in it. Sure, your mind starts to go, man, that'd be nice to see this guy next to AD and Braun or this fit. But until they make some moves, it's not even worth it to me. Yeah. Listen, we're rolling with what we roll with. I mean, I hope you're healthy, and you didn't have Vando last year, or guys were missing most of the year. So you hope that you can roll out this team and give it a go.
Yeah, I can hear the Laker front office already saying it's like we added 2 free agents because we're picking up Vando, who played 29 games last year. We're picking up Gabe Vincent, who played 6 in the regular season. So it's almost like they're adding 2 guys that really were not part of the plan last year.
Max Christie, signed Max Christie.
Yeah. I really expect a lot out of him. And I'm loving Dalton Connect so far in the summer leagues. He's been great. He had 1 or 2 crazy games in the California Classic. Finally got the name right. Really proud of myself. But really like what he's done in Vegas
I haven't
far.
watched a game where I've sat down and watched it, but I've watched all the highlights of him.
Yeah.
And I like him a lot.
Yeah.
So I've always liked him, but highlights are better because you don't see anything else. You don't see a guy getting beat on D. You don't see him miss shots. But listen, he does stuff that I think he's going to be a player.
Yeah.
That's a
volume shooter.
Curiosity for me is what they can do with him defensively.
Yeah.
How they can continue to develop him,
Yeah.
obviously, because the offense
gonna take time.
Yeah.
And people know that it is really tough for a rookie to be a big time impact player, especially in a situation like the Lakers. A little different if you're on a team that doesn't have playoff aspirations and this guy can have a ball in his hands. He's not that type of player, right? Where, you can just let him go and let's see what he becomes. But, he's going to have to fit, and I think he can find a way to fit. But I just, we'll see. I don't want to have too many expectations on him, but I really like him. I mean, listen, Austin Reeves, Caruso, and those guys were freshmen. I mean, sorry, freshmen. They're rookies. They started to impact a little bit.
Yeah.
And you saw it. And then the next year's when we really saw it. So, not that we have a lot of time, but he's a player.
Remember the year in Summer League where Brandon Ingram went down right away in Magic? He had cramps, and Magic was
Calf cramp.
That's it. We're done. So this year, they're actually putting these guys out there.
Yeah.
Granted, Brandon Ingram was the number 2 overall pick. So if he's cramping up or whatever, fine, take him out.
You know what I loved, Brez? I saw Jaquez was playing in Summer League the other day, just giving a smooth
pretty
25
cool.
and smashing people. But where's what about Jalen Hood-Schifino? Could he play
Yeah.
a game or two? Or
Yeah, well, he had that
I'm so
injury.
curious what he looks like.
he was on the bench last night next to Dalton because Dalton didn't play either. But I assume it's the injury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
They're
got to
not
play.
gonna- yeah.
Because Hood Schifino last year, unfortunately, didn't go down to the G League until right around the halfway point of the season. He probably should have gone down before then. But the Lakers had some injuries. What's Gabe Vincent doing? He's out. So you had to kind of keep Hood Schifino around a little bit. And he just needs to play. I mean, he just needs to get out there. Summer League, Drew League, whenever that's going to take place this year with the Olympics going on.
Brez, you know what? You just said 2 names. Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent
Yeah.
were supposed to be big-time rotation guys for the Lakers. You're talking top 8. Without them the whole year, basically. Really curious what they look like with this team healthy. And I don't know what Gabe Vincent's deal is going to be, but I mean, I was excited about Gabe Vincent. He played 5 games.
He was so good in the playoffs now 2 seasons ago with Miami. He helped get them to the finals.
He's a good
There's no doubt
basketball
about
player. Yeah, I mean,
he tailed off a little bit in the finals, maybe fatigue, not used to playing as much as he was playing, but what a great plug-and-play option for them. And I thought it was a good signing by the Lakers a year ago. I still do. 3 years, $33 million. That's pretty good value. That's under the average NBA salary by a couple million.
God, I feel
Just
like
gotta get him
Miami
out there.
Heat always have those guys.
Right.
They just plug in. It's crazy.
Yep.
They
That
get the
they do.
most out of them. They really do.
Yeah, they really do.
Pretty impressive.
One final note. Bronny starting to show some signs in Summer League. As we mentioned, Dalton did not play last night, their game versus the Hawks. It was a close game. Came down to the very end. Bronny finally got that 3-ball going.
Good for him.
I loved his conversation with ESPN afterwards, just not thinking about the games that they hadn't won yet, not thinking about his shot, not falling, just stepping out there, taking every opportunity he can. He hit the tying 3 in crunch time, 12 points, 5 of 11 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep. JJ has always been adamant that they will be patient with Bronny and that he's a development player. Here is some more from JJ's conversation with SiriusXM NBA Radio.
He's a development player. That's how we're looking at Bronny. He's certainly going to spend time with the Lakers. He will spend time as well in the G League. As we sort of build out our player development program, he's going to be an important part of that. And what I've communicated to him right now, what we're looking for is defensive ball pressure. Like, you have to be a guy that's a ball hawk at all times. We're going to develop his shot. We'll develop his ball skills. He's already got a great feel. He has a really good instinctive nature on the defensive end. I thought the third game in the Cali Classic, he made 8 or 9 really good defensive plays. We were at the Canada-USA basketball exhibition game, and I turned to one of our assistant coaches during the game, and I said, I think Lou Dort just single-handedly broke up the 8th possession of the game. Like, his impact, you can't get into your offense sometimes. The shot clock winds down because of his ball pressure. He literally blows up entire plays because of that pressure. And I really believe this. Bronny eventually will be that guy.
You mentioned something when he talked about spending time
Yep.
with the Lakers, sometime with the G League. And I like the communication and just we're going to put it out there. This is how we're kind of going to approach Bronny.
Smart. Yeah, it's not a secret. I appreciate what JJ did. He even brought the expectations down even lower on Bronny because they're way too high. I have so many people texting me or asking me, what's up with Bronny? Guys, he was the 55th pick out of 58. I mean, I've never has a second rounder had to endure so much scrutiny in Summer League. It's like, well, and he's not even an early second rounder. If he was 31 or 32, okay, is this guy going to be good? He's off to a slow start. He's 55 out of 58 picks this year. So I think everyone needs to chill. And Allie and Geeter, I do think that the blueprint for a lot of rookies around the league, especially second rounders, the G League usually starts November 10th. The big boys start mid-October, October 17th, 18th, 20th, whatever it is. So a lot of rookies spend 3 weeks with the big boys and then go down to the G League and hammer out, they get more of a rhythm there because there's not a lot of room for the South Bay guys to be with the real Lakers. So that's my prediction. A couple weeks with the Lakers, gets a feel for an NBA game. I think he and LeBron will play together probably pretty quickly. Maybe there's a blowout at the end of a game or something, and then he'll go down to the G League. I would think fairly close to the start of their season.
I really liked what JJ said as well, Brez. I like that plan. I think it's smart to put it out there.
Absolutely.
And you're right. I feel for him because he's got so much scrutiny, but that's the reality of the world we live in and the reality of his situation. And it's okay. And I just continue to be impressed with how he handles it. And listen, he showed you something when he's struggling and everyone talks about it and everyone tweets about it and it's everywhere. And then he comes out and has a really good game. So his ability to compartmentalize, his ability to put things behind him and go forward is what pros do. So I'm happy for him in that regard. But yeah, he's got a lot of he's gonna have a lot of pressure. He's gonna have a lot of eyeballs on him, and he seems to be able to handle that. So that's awesome.
It will never just seem not incredible to me when I see the post yesterday that Bronny James Jr. and Bron and Bronny both won on the same day. You have someone who's about to be 40 dunking on the baseline at Team USA. It's just like, wait, what?
Yeah,
what is
Allie,
happening?
what was your first year in Cleveland on the sideline there?
2012.
Wow, so you saw him you remember Bronny when he was like 7 or 8, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
running around and
Yeah.
He's little.
Yeah, he was
Wow.
little.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's wild. But All good stuff. Good for the Lakers to get their first Summer League win as well. Lakeshow fans, remember, you can be a part of this show each week. Feel free to send us your questions and comments. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, it's around a bucket or brick. Get on it, Brett.
Brett's favorite game.
Hurry up, Brett.
Welcome back to the Lakeshow podcast presented by Jack in the Box. If you're enjoying the show, you can check out more original podcasts from our Spectrum News journalists on the Spectrum News app. Just head to the podcast section to listen to the latest episodes. You can download the Spectrum News app on the App Store or Google Play.
You know what
read,
I want to
Allie.
say? You know what I want to
Please.
say? Even if you're not enjoying our pod, go do it anyway. There's a lot of
anyway.
other stuff on there.
Yeah.
Because always says if you're enjoying
I'm
the show,
out
if
of
they're
my
not.
peripheral where I was watching you just watch that ticker go. I actually did that to you the other day when you had to do a single during our show and I was the
We're just
analyst. After you guys made me play Fill It Up.
I'll fill it up.
Allie, you were good at the game.
You
were
guys
better than I
crushed
was.
fill it up the
Yeah.
other day. What is the problem?
Time for a round of Bucket or Brick presented by Jack in the Box.
Allie, you're better than that.
Okay, Dad. Bucket or Brick. You know how many times my dad told me that?
Do I sound like Principal Bill?
You are better than that.
Was he right?
Okay, bro.
Were you screwing around, Allie?
Never.
Wearing stuff that was not in uniform code? What were you wearing the
That's
day
Allie
you got
for
sent home for the
sure
uniform
back in
violation
the day.
by your dad, the principal at Van Wert High School?
I couldn't have been more covered than something I can't say right now. Like, nothing was wrong.
Obviously, something was.
Can't roll to school in the mid-drift. Mid-thing, whatever it's called.
He's lucky
tell
I
that to my
wasn't.
kids.
He's lucky I'm not in high school right now.
Did he send you home?
He did.
Or-
I missed my calc exam.
You know what I say? Put some clothes on. That's what I tell my kids when they're trying to leave the house.
Do you really?
That's what you
Yeah.
get.
What do they say?
I do have clothes on, Dad.
Yeah.
Put some clothes on, bud.
Good parenting.
Now.
just like you and Bill.
Yeah.
Good parents.
Do you really?
No, I say put some clothes on Barney's now. That's exactly what I say
You call your children Barneys.
all the time. When they're being Barney's.
Do they
I
have
call
my
them.
number? Make sure that they have my number
They should.
in
I
their
think they do.
cellular device.
Okay. You gonna text them?
No, just when they want to
Break
say
for me.
something to you and they need advice, just tell them to call me. Okay. Bucket or brick?
It's a good idea.
Lakers will go over
Sorry
their
for being a great father.
projected
That's what I would say.
projected.
It is good parenting.
I could only imagine how hard it is to be a parent nowadays. Bucket or brick? Lakers will go over their projected win total of 44.5 wins. Was this already set? When did
This
this
is already
get
set in Vegas?
Yeah, stuff's just coming out.
44
Yeah.
and a half?
What
What did they hit
April
last
9th?
year?
Is that what I was saying? April 9th?
April 9th. I'm going to go over on this. They were,
April
they were,
9th,
they were
Brett.
40. They were, what did they win this past year? 43. Was it it was 47. They hit the over-under exactly on the head because it was 47 last year.
Weird. Vegas is so weird.
What's wrong?
Vegas is so weird.
It's
that
unbelievable.
They do that.
Maybe it was 47 and a half, whatever. They
You,
were right there.
you bucketed it,
I
right?
bucket. Yeah, I think they're going to go over because
Bucket.
Look, they got really lucky with LeBron and AD missing so few games together. Now it's time for the role players to not miss any
I
games.
think they're going to get lucky again. I think those guys are going to be mostly healthy. I'm going to bucket it because they're going more. They don't even have us in the play. 44 wins. What are you, the Spurs?
Yeah, that's the 9-10 play-in game if
Yeah.
you're 43 wins.
Shout out, fun note. I was at Summer League this weekend, and for our road tripping podcast, went to dinner with the road tripping crew,
Yeah.
and went to pay the tab, and the tab was paid.
Bye.
Greg Popovich.
I was just
No
going to
way.
say
No
Yeah.
way.
the
Yeah.
Spurs still suck, but that is a classy move. Wait, he's
It
still
was
paying
awesome.
for Rich's dinners?
Yes, it was aweson He was over in the corner.
Does he know
Rich went
Channing
over
at
and
all?
said hello.
Well, or did he just Rich?
I mean, he did say hi when he came over. He said hi to Channing. But then I will also say two little kiddos came up and they had their basketball cards in their little notebook, and he stopped. He took a picture with them, and then he carried on out of the restaurant, and I went to pay it, and it was paid. The man said, Pop took care of you. Called him Pop, not Greg Pop, not Popovich.
He
Pop.
loved yelling at Richard.
And then the next night, which is what's wild about all this. Side note, sorry, we'll get back to Bucket or Brick. But next night, went to do a dinner again. Walk in, Pop is in there, and I told Rich right away. I was like, "Oh, guess who's in there?" And he went up to Pop and he said, "Pop, just so you know, save your money because these are comp dinners because we're there for
That's
road
really
tripping
cool.
or whatever." And he started laughing. He goes, "You know what's so funny is I looked at the bill and I was like, man." They didn't eat anything.
No way, really?
I guess over his years, he's paid for bills and people have just thrown wine on there and But
Allie, no crab
didn't
legs
bet
and
it.
lobster for you that night?
we all had a meal. It was an Italian meal too, and we all had
that's
drinks
an awesome
and everything.
story,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, that is so awesome.
That's a great
Yeah.
story.
That dude
Good
does-
job,
that guy
Allie.
does not have to do that.
Everyone thinks he's such a curmudgeon, and he's hard to sideline reporters on the air, no doubt about it.
Oh, everyone loves him, though.
But
Hopefully I
everyone
was allowed
loves
to
him.
tell that story.
I will tell you what, the last time San Antonio played against Kobe here in LA, Kobe's last season, after the game, I walked by Kobe's locker. I'm like, what the hell is that? It was a giant bottle of red wine, like 2.5 feet tall, 3 feet tall. And I said, and I found out Popovich had that shipped out from wherever it was. I think it was a
Pops,
Napa.
big wine guy.
Yeah, and it was for Kobe. It was probably like, I think they called it a Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
It's like 13 bottles of wine in there. It was the biggest bottle I've ever seen. And
Fantastic.
Pop, one of the most overrated curmudgeon personalities ever. He's actually a really good guy down deep.
And I will say at the second dinner, I'm not going to mention this coach's name, another coach around the league, just because obviously they were out in public, but they were having dinner for 4 hours.
Whoa.
And I just think the time that he spends with people,
Yeah.
that's just kind of the side that we probably, and a lot of people don't get to see.
I remember
of him,
Luke
you know?
telling me one time when he was a Laker coach, he went to dinner in Vegas. It was Pop, Steve Kerr, Luke, and maybe Billy Donovan. I'm trying to remember the fourth, but I was like, what was that dinner like?
Yeah.
Just be sitting there going, yeah, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
pretty
incredible. All right, bucket or brick. Russell Westbrook will thrive in Denver with the Nuggets.
I'm going to bucket it. Happy for Russ.
Wow.
I mean, how do you not thrive in Denver? Team's great. Playing with Jokic, Murray playing a role. I think he's going to do great.
God, I really want to brick it.
You do you, Bress.
I'm going to brick it. I'm going to break it, but you actually bring up a great point. They need people on that bench.
Yeah.
They have 2 second-year guys, Julian Strother and Peyton Watson, who are supposed to carry the load on the bench.
I guess we should define thrive.
Yeah.
I don't know about thrive, but I think he'll do well. How about that?
He'll put up Clipper numbers. What was he? 10 points, 4
He
or
was
5
11
assists.
season. It was a career low 11, but he played
Does
his
he
role.
go into the starting lineup? And does that move Christian Braun back to the?
No.
No, I don't think so.
You think Russ stays off
Jamal
the bench,
Murray's your
Think so.
Jamal Murray's got to be your starter.
and you don't put him at the 2? You don't have Russ in your starting lineup.
No, because Russ.
You lose KCP, who I guess
Yeah,
was
but,
your
but Russ is.
Michael Porter Jr.
You got Braun's got to defend. He's got to defend. Wait, who? Christian Braun. He's got to defend. He's got to defend twos. He's got to spread the floor.
Younger
Fits.
legs,
He knows
too.
that system. Yeah, I mean Russ
Needs
is
some
like
youth.
coming
Yeah.
and playing a role.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. I probably should have bucketed it, but what the hell?
All right, bucket or brick. Team USA will win every game by double digits on their way to gold in the Olympics.
Every game.
Every game.
I think they're going to have a couple close games, but I'm going to bucket it, pull away at the end, win by, 10, 11. There'll be some close ones.
I have a little USA Olympic story for you, Allie. 2012, LA Times sends me out there. I'm covering men's and women's basketball. That was my assignment. That was it. First night, men's basketball beat someone by like 40 points. I write it up for the LA Times. Everyone looks good. This is Kobe's last Olympics. Second night, women's team beat someone by like 50 points. I went to my editor. I said, look, do I need to cover all these games? I mean, the U.S. just smashes people. And the answer was no. He let me do some swimming, some water polo, some beach volleyball, indoor volleyball. I did skeet shooting one day.
Nice.
It's crazy. But I still did plenty of basketball. Yes, they're going to absolutely destroy people. That's what they do in these Olympic settings.
But they're
And,
better teams now, right?
Better teams. Although that year, Spain had Pau and Marc Gasol. They were good.
08 team too did.
But, it's always...
Spain was really good back then.
Let me tell you that whatever the closest game is, here's going to be the storyline. Ooh, so-and-so played the Lakers close. Not Lakers, Team USA close. But in the end, Team USA won
Pulls
by
away.
12. Yeah, it always happens.
I'm with you.
Every year.
Okay. Last one, bucket or brick. More stars will mirror Jalen Brunson and take less money to give their teams roster flexibility. Preach.
That was an absolute
I agree.
brick.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I was just trying to be funny. So he could have waited a year, correct? And then gone Supermax. Is that right? But he went this year, signed, so they'll have more room in the future.
And if you
Am I
do
to
it and it doesn't work out, do you go back to the old way?
Hey, guys.
Maybe I should take my break. I mean, someone.
No,
you know
no,
what?
I'm with you.
I don't think we're going to see it a lot. What was your question?
James Harden just did it, right?
Were you saying seeing it a lot, or will we see it more?
More stars will mirror Jalen Brunson.
Is more one or two?
More can be whatever your little
Yeah.
heart desires, Dad.
Go for it, Brez.
I mean, look,
What'd you do?
Brick. Jerry West once said, when players make decisions on what teams to join, yeah, you look at the location. Is it sunny? Are there good restaurants? Are there beaches? Or is it a good nightlife? Yeah, all that comes into play.
Team good.
Yeah, team good. Sure.
Oh.
Thank you.
Then there's that part.
But the number one factor is, understandably, money. So I think Jalen Brunson, good for him, great guy. LeBron James, in his own way, kept the Lakers below that second apron. Didn't take the pay cut that Brunson did, but yeah, I mean, those are nice moves by those guys.
Yeah.
But once the big money starts coming in next year with the new TV contract, there's going to be so much money going around that, a few million here and there changes 99.9% of the population's lives, but not necessarily an NBA star like LeBron or Jalen Brunson.
Fair. Would you take less money to keep me here? But
Yes.
podcast. Is
How
over.
much less?
Brett, I hear you chuckling back
How
there.
much less?
Brett Cam,
Whatever it takes.
100 million.
I mean, honestly, how much less?
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Couple thousand.
For sure.
Couple thousand, easy.
Well, I'm just
You
saying
heard
we
it.
make
You
a
heard
lot
it.
less.
You heard it. That's what I'm saying.
Let's
So
say my was 50 million.
okay.
Would I take what to keep you? Let's say I got paid 20 million a year.
You got paid $20 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take a $5 million pay cut?
Wow.
After taxes, we do live in California.
That's a lot.
Yes, I would.
Wow.
You're a good man because I
Yeah.
would not do it. Thanks
need
to you
you
for
here.
listening to the Lake Show podcast. I would not. Presented
You're a good
by
man.
You wouldn't?
Jack in the Box.
Allie, you would have taken like 18
like what
million,
you
right, to
hear?
keep Geeter here?
No. You like what you... You ain't touching my money. You can come visit me, though, where I'm at when my contract is up and done.
Are we still in the air?
If you like what you hear, leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast app. We want to hear from you. Send us your questions. Hit us up on X at Relay Clifton, Geeter3 at Mike_Bresnahan. Until next week, Allie will not take a pay cut.
19 instead of
For
20?
I'm not
Chris
either.
McGee.
How about that, everybody?
He takes it back.
I was about to swear. I take
Brick.
back my brick.